A Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, to you hopefully the elect. I'm going to try to make this as brief, quick, to the point as possible. You know, just watching a series of events, man, because, hey, being that we're on our watch, like brothers talk about how prophecies popping like popcorn, man. There's literally so much going on. It's damn nearly impossible to keep up, you know. But just through the spirit, I wanted to touch on this real quick. I was watching this guy off-grid desert farming. Um, Touching on this with the pipeline. All right, the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines. Now there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of rumors, because apparently the pipelines are pretty much damaged. Some reports saying that, it's some type of natural malfunction, or got other reports talking about how the pipelines were actually sabotaged and actually blown up, and amongst many other things, which pretty much, if that's the case, then, because Europe, they pretty much rely very heavily on those pipelines. So if these pipelines are sabotaged, blown up or whatever, then that pretty much conceals their fate for this dark winter that everyone's been talking about. But we'll wait and see. Nevertheless, dealing with these pipelines, all right, because like I said, I was watching this guy, and he brought out a valid point. Like I said, amidst all the rumors of what could have happened, I found this rather interesting. Dealing with who sabotaged these pipelines, all right. And I just want to play this video here. It's not long. It's roughly 3 minutes, so I want to play this video here real quick.
Pipeline has been blown up. It does look like that by the United States of America. And I'm bringing you this quote from Victoria Nuland, which, by the way, orchestrated the overthrow of the legitimate government in Ukraine in 2014 by staging a coup with $5 billion from George Soros. And this is the same Victoria Nuland that is now admitting that the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, in one way or another, will never operate. So I'm going to play this for you. And then we're also uploading another video of Joe Biden saying the same thing, that the Nord Stream 2 pipeline will never operate.
So again, check this out. Pay attention, because again, the question right now being who supposedly sabotaged these pipelines. Well, the clip that he's about to play, or the clips that he's about to play, if this be true, then America pretty much told on itself, and if this is the case, well, I'm not going to jump the gun. I'm going to go ahead and play the clips.
So, folks, it does look like that we have a guilty party and a pre-confession that our country is responsible, I would say 99.9% of blowing up the Russian Nord Stream 1 pipeline and the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you right now. And listen to the evidence, folks. This is the smoking gun.
With regard to Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward. With regard.
So, did you hear that? All right. She mentioned if Russia so-called invades Ukraine, then pretty much The Nord Stream, those pipelines, they're pretty much done.
To Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
And he's going to play the clip by Biden.
So I just wanted to show you the evidence, folks, that we are the guilty party. I do believe we had a U.S. Navy amphibious assault flotilla in that area when this happened. And please stay tuned for the next video after this one. Please stay tuned. I give you more evidence of what really happened. That it does look like that our country is trying to provoke a shooting war and possibly even a nuclear war with Russia by blowing up their pipeline. And this is a pre-confession that was made months and months ago by Victoria Nuland and our next video of Joe Biden. So God bless you. Remember that Jesus Christ loved.
Oh, well, Slaki, he didn't play the Joe Biden clip in this video. He played it in the next video, but nevertheless, pretty much Joe Biden, he's saying the same thing, and he said it with a smirk on his face at the end. So again, if this be the case, if this be true, and America's pretty much telling on itself, all right, and they in fact did sabotage these pipelines, well, because again, Europe, they depend heavily on those pipelines, all right, because again, supposedly they were blown up, so like I said, that pretty much sealed. You can almost be certain that Europe is going to face this real harsh dark winter, but because there was also reports that NATO could have done this as well, all right, but nevertheless, if this be true, then this could lead way to this here in Revelation 17. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying, Come unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." All right, when it's gonna, when you read on, it's gonna to explain. In verse 2 it says, "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and in the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." And when you get into this, as it's been broken down by the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, all right, because of course other Israelite groups, they teach this, they have a different breakdown on this, but if you follow the apostles of Great Millstone doctrine, all right, and through the Spirit, we understand this to be, when it talks about the great whore, it's talking about America, all right, and the 7 heads, this scarlet-colored beast that the whore is sitting upon, where it said full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, all in a nutshell, NATO and the EU, all right, NATO and the EU, they consist of the beast, all right, and again, America is that whore that sits upon this beast, all right. You see the spearhead of all this wickedness, all right, that's then spread throughout the 4 corners of the earth. It pretty much stems from America, all right. I'm reading on. It says, "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication." And it talks about in the book of Jeremiah how Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, because you see, again, America has been the spearhead to spread all this wickedness and all this madness throughout the 4 corners of the earth, all right. But nevertheless, jumping down, because again, NATO, EU, and America, they're all what's the word? They're all in cahoots with one another, all right. Again, NATO and EU consists of the beast. All right, and America is a part of that structure. All right, right. So with that being said, jumping down to verse 15, it says, And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, the peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." So you see, because something's going to happen to where, again, because like I said, America, NATO, and the EU, they're all in cahoots with one another. All right, but something's going to happen to where EU and NATO are basically going to say to hell with America. They're going to say F America. And like I said, it says they shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Ultimately, they're going to shoot their missiles at America. All right. You see, and this could be one of those reasons, because brought this up before about how, with the all these sanctions that the West, NATO, and the EU countries have been putting on the Russians. What the sanctions that they've been putting on Moscow has been backfiring on the EU. It's been backfiring on those EU nations. You see, because again, pretty much all hell is breaking loose throughout certain countries within the EU, because again, the sanctions that they've been put on Moscow is backfired. All right, which America has been like I said, is because of America. You see, EU has been putting these sanctions, and it's been hurting their economy. You see, well now, like I said, if this ought to be true, and in fact, America is the reason why, which I wouldn't be surprised, because these the West, man, NATO and the West, they've been provoking Russia. All right, like some say, some been saying, you've been poking the bear, right? The West and NATO, they've been poking the bear, man. And I've mentioned this before in times past, the characteristics of a bear. Because you see, and it's all through the spirit of the Lord, because ultimately the Lord wants this to happen. As a matter of fact, when you read verse 17, it says, "For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled." Because, again, in Russia, they didn't want to get into this war. They didn't want any smoke, but they basically been forced into this. All right. But because again, it's all the will of Yahweh Shema Shai. But I was gonna say, when you poke a bear, man, one of the characteristics of a bear, all right, if you keep antagonizing it, it'll play like it's not gonna, it'll walk away like it's not gonna do anything, and within a millisecond, it'll turn around and attack. When you study the characteristics of a bear, you keep poking it, you keep antagonizing it, it'll walk away like it's not going to do anything. But in an instant, it'll come around and attack. You see, well, they keep poking this bear. They keep fucking with these Russians. All right, and something's bound to happen. All right, and again, it's all prophetic. Like I said, it's all the will of Yahweh Shema Shai at the end of the day. But nevertheless, if this ought to be true, then again, this could be more fuel to the fire on why EU and NATO could shoot the missiles, at America. This could be more fuel to the fire, and the beast hating the whore. All right, because if America in fact did do this, then hey, this will give more reason for the beast hating the whore. Like I said, he did another video with the clip of Joe Biden basically saying the same thing, and sticking his foot in his mouth, and then admitting that if Russia invades the Ukraine, then them pipelines will be done. So I just found it rather interesting. Hopefully this was edifying, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Yahweh Bashem Al Shai brought the thumb to you, hopefully elect. Until next time, Lord's will, Shalom.